Welcome to today's edition of Practice Advantage Pearls. Today we're tackling the topic of management change once again. We've talked a little bit about some of the signs and symptoms. We've talked a little bit about some of the diagnostic and treatment side to that. And today we'd like to find out a little bit about the follow-up. How are things going? So perhaps you had a case of acute meningitis and now you've made some changes to that. You want to make sure that the treatment or the prescription is working. What might be some signs or indicators that things are really working? One of those might be, if you look at your overhead costs, perhaps your overhead costs have gone from 62% over a period of time to 50%. Some good positive change on the overhead sides of things. Perhaps you've had a change in the human resource turnover rate. Instead of being above 20%, really, people are sticking around and being committed to the group and staying with that. You've got a smoother running operation. And by the way, as a leader of the organization, you've got somebody that can be the buffer for some of those human resources, personnel kinds of things that tend to come up at the worst time. So if I think about a more concrete example related to benchmarks, perhaps your accounts receivable were at 52 days total, and your goal is to get them down under 30 days, maybe 28 days. So the plan would be to task the management structure and the management team and the management leaders with getting to that 28 days. Along the way, you need to have a reasonable goal. Maybe there are measures at 6 weeks, at 12 weeks, and at 6 months along the way working toward that goal. Task the management group with making sure that you're on target. And if not, they've got great explanations for why that might be changing. There may be some marketplace dynamic changes, such as a change in payers. Looking at that, you also need to give permission to celebrate those incremental victories along the way. Say you went from 52 to 48 days in the first 6 weeks. Then you went to 44 days. Celebrate those milestones along the way. New leadership, new structure, new tools, new training, you need to give it a chance. Give it a chance to work. A lot of times we're short-sighted and we say, these things should be working by now. It's been 4 days, when really it needs probably a time period of 6 to 12 months to really take effect. So give these changes a chance to work, be realistic about that, and I know the new focus will probably bring you a better bottom line, but also smoother operations. Thank you for listening to today's Practice Advantage Pearl. I hope you'll join us again in the future.